Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Okay, so you read the title. Let's get right into it. So when it comes to feats and when it comes to this character, I really do think that this Huntsman Spirit is a trap. A lot of people are talking about how overpowered it is and how great it is, and it's a huge trap, at least when it comes to Dominion. Because of the fact that you gain health so much slower, kind of the things that Dude pointed out at the end of the Warriors Den, I forget his name, but the fact that you get health so much slower, the fact that your revival time will be so much higher, this is really bad. If your team does not have a health zone, you cannot get health other than it slowly reviving. So basically you're stuck to have it slowly go up on its own, which is terrible. The amount of time that it takes is probably double, if not more, the normal time that it takes. If anything, I would say this probably actually needs a buff. Honestly, it's really bad in Dominion. Now when it comes to Breach, which is the game mode we play on this channel more often, it's actually the exact opposite. It's really good because of the fact that it has a shorter timer than the normal Breach time, and you can kind of walk around the extremely large map free before you come back is huge, because you can go walk to the health point, which nobody should be babysitting. The only time someone is babysitting the health point is when they're getting health themselves, but other than that, if there's people sitting on the health point, then they're not doing the objective, which is bad for their team, which is not the same for Dominion, right? If they're sitting on the objective, they're also sitting on the health point. So if you're playing Dominion and you really want to do this Huntsman Spirit, what I would suggest is Second Wind. It helps you get that little bit of health back when you come back from being ethereal or whatever, and helps you continue to fight even though there's no points to gain health from. Another thing is Stalwart Banner, or even better is Regenerate, because when you're out of battle you can regenerate. You can pretty much just go back to the spawn point if you want to, and come back from the ethereal. I don't even know what that's called, like rematerialize, I have no idea, but you basically come back from the ethereal spirit. Oh, that's what they call it, spirit. You come back as a spirit. Basically you just walk to your spawn point, come back as a spirit, and then you can walk back to any one of the objectives and have your full health by then if you use Regenerate. Same with Breach mode. If you use Regenerate, usually I would say if you're using Regenerate though, you only want to use it on attackers. It's super good on attackers, but on defense it's probably better to go with Stalwart Banner, because you can also heal the commander, which is huge. So that makes it just all around better. That being said, if you're willing to get rid of the Huntsman Spirit on Dominion, the build or loadout that I've been going with is Tireless, so that you have more stamina. The thing about Tireless that people don't realize is it's extremely underrated because of the fact that this game has become more of a attack, right? It's not a defensive game like it used to be. It's not a reaction based game. It's like attack whenever you can type of game and then read the opponent type deal. So Tireless usually makes it to where you would have to stop right before they're dead. Instead you get that last hit, right? Instead you get that last bash that kills them off. Or if you're going 1v1 with somebody who's the same character as you, now you all of a sudden have more stamina than them, even though you guys have swung the same amount of times. You hit each other with 2 or 3 light attacks or whatever the case is, right? And then, but for some reason you have more stamina than him, and you're able to attack again more often than he is. This perk right here is oftentimes the decision maker when it comes to whether or not I'm going to lose or win a battle. It's huge, and I think people don't really understand or really get like how big this is to have, well, how big it is to have more stamina, period, in this game. Next, I think all of these are kind of trash. You can pretty much use whatever you like. I guess the Vengeful Mark is okay. I don't think that it does that much defense loss, because anytime I hit people who are marked, I don't see a huge difference. I could be wrong on that, let me know, but I just don't see it as being that good. I usually just use Executioner's Respite. The reason I use this is because you can use your quicker execution and it'll still give you almost full health, like 3/4 to full health, which is huge. Usually a quicker execution is not going to give you that much health, and you're usually only using it because you're needing to get back into the fight. But in this case, you can get back into the fight and have more health. As you can see, a lot of the perks that I use or like to use are based on health, so you don't have to be inside of a zone to get health. I think that all of the health perks in this game are extremely, I don't want to say busted, but they're kind of underrated. Like, people don't use them as often as they should, especially Second Wind. Second Wind to me is the best perk in this game for where it sits. So when it comes to the third perk, obviously the one I'm going to say to use is going to be Second Wind. I just don't see any reason to use any of these other two. I mean, grants extra attack damage and increased speed after killing enemies, but that really doesn't matter unless you're in a gank, which, I mean, if you're in a gank and you're doing it right, your attack doesn't matter too much. Like, the person who's ganking with you is what matters. If they're not doing it right, your attack does not matter because none of them are going to go through. So, that one's kind of trash to me, but Protected Revive is all right in Breach. Like, it's good if you're around multiple enemies and you can get a quick revive in, and then the person has just a little bit of extra shield, and then you can Stalwart Banner and like kind of go from there and just kind of, you know, pick your team up like that way. But more often than not, that doesn't happen. More often than not, what happens is you revive somebody or can't revive somebody at all, but if you do, then they immediately go down because there's 2 or 3 other people around you, and it just doesn't matter that much, the Protected Revive. Not to mention you get half health now. Like, if you got if you had full health still when you got revived, Protected Revive would be insanely good, and it used to be insanely good for that reason. But you have half health now, which I feel like you would think, oh well, that makes it even more useful, but no, it's just not the case. Like, the little bit of extra that it gives is like a heavy, right? And it's just like, okay, and you know what I mean? Because if you're getting hit with heavies and one heavy in a gank, you're getting hit with 2. Like, let's be honest. So it's just not that good. The only one I would use here is Second Wind. Now, when it comes to the tier 4 feats, all of his tier 4 feats are god tier. Like, Regenerate is super good and extremely good on this character if you're using the first tier, the Huntsman Spirit. But even then, even if you're not, anytime you're not in a fight, like anytime you get in a fight, say you're on mid, right? You go to B, you take down all the minions, someone comes up, they challenge you, you kill them, and now you have like a sliver of health. You go all the way back up to full with this without using any perks. All you have to do is walk around the map for a second, and it doesn't take that long. It heals faster than a healing point. And on top of that, you can heal faster when you're on a healing point using this, because they both heal you at the same time. It's not like one takes over the other. It's insanely good. Trapper's Reach. This is the one that I feel like is being slept on right now. A lot of people are not talking about this perk, but it can change the tide of a battle. Let's say scenario, it's you 2v1, right? 2 people have full health, so do you. Trapper's Reach one person, they are now pretty much dead because it guarantees a heavy after the insane amount of bleed and initial damage that it does. It guarantees a heavy. So you do that, you guarantee the heavy, you hit them with the bash afterwards or hit them with the mix-up, they're pretty much melted and dead, and now it's a 1v1. That has completely changed the dynamic of that fight, and now you're in a 1v1 with someone who hopefully you can beat, right, instead of a 2v1. And in certain 2v1s, if the people are good and they know how to gank and they watched my ganking video, then they will destroy your health bar without ever giving you revenge. So this perk right here is the OP one. Like, everyone's all up in arms about this, but this is not the OP perk. It's this one, or this one. This perk is insanely good. It's basically it's a melt one person button, and it's damn near instant, right? Like, it's not Hitokiri where it takes 3 or 4 seconds for the perk or the move to come in, and it's parryable now, which is insane. Right, you can't parry this, and it comes out super fast. So unless you're anticipating it or just already dodging, this thing is going to hit you. And then we obviously all know Stalwart Banner and Regenerate. So I mean, if you're going to do, like, if you don't do the Huntsman Spirit, that leaves it open for you to do either Trapper's Reach or Stalwart Banner. I mean, Regenerate, you can do it too, but I feel like this couples well with the Huntsman's. But honestly, Trapper's Reach, this is how I've been doing it so far, or lately. Basically, Tireless, Executioner's Respite, Second Wind, and then either Trapper's Reach or Stalwart Banner, just kind of depending on how I feel. However, when I go into Breach, it's pretty much always either Regenerate or Stalwart Banner, depending on if I'm defense or attack. So just kind of depends on the game mode. And there are other game modes too, right, that people don't really play that much. So, you know, just kind of play with these and those game modes, kind of see how they feel. I just wanted to make this video to kind of talk about Huntsman Spirit and how it's not really as OP as people think. And I hope it doesn't get a nerf because of the community being in an uproar about it, because it's really not that good. Other than that, I hope you liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, do all the things. This has been Yate Gaming. We will see you in the next one. Other than that, stay safe, be blessed.
I have no idea where I'm going from here. Is